And good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the AfreecaTV Champions Cup, the Korean qualifier number 2. I'm of course your host, Live VIP, and with me I'm joined by the one, the only, the lovely plushies that I have in my room, and we have these amazing players with us as well as spawning in the top right hand corner as I quickly change his color on that UI. There we go, beautiful. We are ready for this. We have the South Korean we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Mystery Gaming. It is RagnaroK. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss representing Team Abydos. It is Creator. As I quickly just set up a couple of things. There we go, beautiful. We are ready for this, and yeah, welcome back, everyone. Of course, we were here last week with the first of the Korean qualifiers, and we are here with the second. I know maybe you haven't heard of this event before, but there is a premier event that is currently underway. At least the qualifiers are underway. That is, of course, the AfreecaTV Champions Cup. Massive shout out to Africa. Massive shout out to Matcherino as well, as they are the main sponsors for this tournament. And this is the second and also the last qualifier for the Korean region. There have been other qualifiers going on as well as time has gone on. We had the European qualifiers wrap up a couple of days ago. We had players like Clem, Rainer, and Cyril alongside MaxPax, Here Marine, and Showtime all qualify for that main event, all qualify for the AfreecaTV Champions Cup. Really, the players that we expect to see, Spirit didn't quite make it through, unfortunately, but you know, Here Marine, Clem, Rainer, Cyril, MaxPax, Showtime, they are the best of the best over in Europe, and now we are looking for the best of the best over in Korea. To quickly go over and summarize what happened in the first qualifier, we had Hero, the best Protoss in South Korea, Cure, and Solar all qualify for the main event. That is why they're not a part of this bracket. That's why they're not here in this qualifier. And there are still 3 more spots left, still 3 more chances for these players to make it on through. I'm quickly checking to see if there are any invites, and it looks like there is. Okay, so the previous champion is going to be invited to the event. That is why Dark is not a part of the qualifier. So Dark, the best Zerg player, Hero, the best Protoss, of course, Cure and Solar to round that out, and we still have 3 more spots remaining. And we are missing some people on... Oh, no, never mind. Okay, we have the big names. Maru is here, Björn is here, Oliveira, DRG, Estrella, Future, and of course, these 2 lovely players here. We're here to find out the final players to make it into that main event. Who is it going to be so far? Pretty standard openers. Hatchcast Pool here from RagnaroK, going for his 3rd base on time. Likewise, Creator across the map, going for a gate expand, going for a Stargate opener into his first Oracle. Nothing too crazy yet. But, you know, I'm turning into like a broken record here, but when it comes to Creator, he does have a unique playstyle. He is a lot more defensive than some of the other Korean Protoss players, or he goes for just a very differing style overall. Doesn't rely too heavily on Blink Stalkers, relies a little bit more on this more robust army of Archons and Immortals and Charge Lots, and he can hit some pretty crisp timings. So I don't want to say he's like a passive player, just goes for these differing pushes instead, and yeah, we'll see how he does for, or what he's able to accomplish for himself. For the time being, the first Oracle gets across the map, doesn't quite find too much damage, though the Queens are in position, and the Oracle is more often than not going to be waiting for another Oracle to kind of join up with this so we can kind of one-shot workers until such a time it is going to be parked outside of the main base. And likewise, RagnaroK hasn't really been cutting too many corners. We have a Spore in the main, only 1 Queen. We go for the Stasis Trap. Do we have a reaction? We do! Do react in time. Only 1 drone does get caught. At the same time, we have that second Oracle diving towards the natural base. Ooh, that is a very fast Bailey Nest from RagnaroK, and it is going to get scouted. RagnaroK, by the way, he's setting up for a Bane Bust. We have 22 Lings in production as we speak. Now, the Lings haven't been spotted, but the Bailey Nest has. And again, this is a really suspect Bailey Nest. You would never see this at this timing, especially hidden behind the mineral line as well. And here we go, the Lings are welding across the map. The Queens as well. RagnaroK is going for a Ling Bane all-in with Queens marching across the map. Creator, he's going to make his stand at his 3rd base. A bold move here by Creator. Shield batteries are not going to be finishing up. He has some oracles here to defend, but that's what the queens are for. That's why the queens have arrived. The Lings, they dive onto the Nexus. The Adepts are doing what they can. They are not going to commit to the shade, but Banelings are waddling on in, and they're going to make short work of these Adepts. There is no way out. There's no way in. The Adepts are trapped. The Lings do lock them down. The Adepts are falling. The third base is going to be broken, but we need more than just the third. Creator holding at the natural instead. He's preserved some of his Adepts. He's got Immortals on the way. Stalkers as well, and the Oracles are zooming across the map. Meanwhile, what did go down? We got the Nexus, 2 probes, 7 Adepts. RagnaroK is droning up instead. He's trying to take an economic lead. He cut workers very early on to make that all-in happen. I say all-in, I mean it's all-in unless you deal enough damage to kind of equalize and to transition out. Lings, they get in high on the army and they don't quite want to tango with it. They are going to back off instead. Oh, quite a lot waiting for him there at that natural base. We could see maybe another Ling counterattack to try to get us around and get a denial on the third. For the time being, RagnaroK is just chilling. We have Roach Warren on the way. Evo Chambers, 4th base as well. He has a nice lead for himself. Meanwhile, Creator's going to be stuck at home. Creator's going to be stuck at home, pumping out Immortals. We've got +1. A delayed Twilight Council, very Creator-esque. He typically does delay his Twilight Council here in favor of Immortal production, in favor of upgrades. This should be for charge once we do get there as well. Again, everything is looking pretty on brand here for Creator. Meanwhile, the 2 Oracles zoom across the map as we speak. They're going to be able to get a couple more drone kills, and they need to. All the Oracles are going to be going down. At least one of them is. At the same time, the Lings go for a counterattack, but no, the army is in position. The Lings don't find too much damage at all. And yeah, Creator, he's done a great job at recovering. He still isn't quite stabilized. He still doesn't have that third base up and running yet, but it is about to finish up momentarily. Then he can commence mining here. Immediately gets a fully saturated. The other thing to bear in mind is that Creator didn't lose many probes. That's why his probe count is still relatively healthy. He may have lost the base, but he preserved his worker count for the most part. He was able to evacuate, able to get them out in time. And soon Creator is going to be the aggressor here. We have the Prism on the way, High Templar as well for some Archons. I'm curious if he's just going to go for an Archon drop or if he's going to commit to a push. Does he have too many Immortals? I think we have, oh, we only have 2. I can't imagine we're going to move out anytime soon. Yeah, Storm is still on the way. So Creator just going to make sure he's able to stabilize and expand, take these bases 4th base in production behind this move out. As Creator is going to be pushing, I don't think he's going to commit though, as, oh, he does at least get eyes on this run by. Immediately he has to respond, he has to turn it back around. Lings get a full surround, and yeah, they force a cancel on the 4th. Ooh. Brutal cancel there for Creator. Meanwhile, back at home, RagnaroK, we've got an Infestation Pit. I love that we're getting ready for some drops in the main. We have a Spine Crawler on the way as well, just to help out with that. Spore is able to zone away that Prism. The Queens rock up as well. Thankfully, Creator doesn't pre-siege. He does back off in time. He's respecting the position of his opponent. And RagnaroK, he has been, it took him a while, but he was able to drone up to 82, so he's got a very healthy worker count at this point. Pure Ling Bane is all he needs to focus on. Ling Bane, Roach, Ravager. The army movement is going to be spotted by this observer. And Creator, once again, is taking a more defensive position, but he's taking up as we speak. We have a second robo on the way. Do we have a bay? We do not have a robotic space, so just second robo. This should be for double Immortal production. We should be working on Archons as well. We've got a couple with the army, but I'm sure we're going to be working on more soon. As once again, RagnaroK, he rocks up. He goes for the surround as well. The Baileys try to roll on in. They will not find their connections at the same time. Ooh, a massive station trap here goes off on the right-hand side. We force a cancel on the 4th base. We're going for the surround. We want the Immortals. We want the Immortals, and we are going to get the Immortals as well. Massive pickups here for RagnaroK, crippling the army of Creator. Not just the army, also the economy by getting that cancel on the 4th. Creator, unfortunately, he didn't have his entire army to defend. He did have a little bit left over on the right-hand side to defend against the Bailey run-by. But But the stasis trap took care of that, and we just needed some more reinforcements. Alas, RagnaroK is just maintaining his lead. He's holding on to it. He's not letting it go. Hive in a production. Spire as well. Interesting choice. Makes sense. RagnaroK just wants to make sure that he has the tech available in case there's a Sky Toss transition, in case a Carrier or Void Rays rock up. He's going to be ready for it. Prism is moving out across the map. The goal here for Creator is to just buy time, give himself some room so he can expand, but the creep has already arrived here at his front door, at his third base, fourth base even. May as well be at his third. And RagnaroK is looking for the fight once again. We have a good storm on these things. We force a recall as well. Creator knows he is exposed. And RagnaroK, he could have gone for the secure kill on this fourth, but no, he goes for the third base. Instead, he catches the Immortals. Biles are going to be raining down upon the base. The Nexus will go down. Creator can't hold on. He goes for a Zealot run by across the map. We have plenty of Queens back at home to defend as well. The Biles! Ooh. Take down some of those transferring workers. The Immortals get trapped by the Lynx as well. Biles will be connecting, and GG gets called. RagnaroK takes game number 1. Ooh. Damn. GG. Off of the back of that Bane bust. The Ling Bane bust that we saw at the start of the game did kind of cripple Creator. It did take down the third base, did contain him to a lower economy. And as a result, RagnaroK had full map control. He had a lot of freedom. He had the freedom to drone, had the freedom to tech, to throw down bases. He was left alone. Creator was never able to counterattack that entire game. We saw a Zealot run-by at the very end, and that Zealot run-by, that's the only thing that Creator was able to really accomplish across the map. Outside of that, he was just perpetually stuck at home. Just because of how aggressive and how assertive RagnaroK was. So very well done. Very well played there by RagnaroK. And with that, he takes a lead in this series, but it is merely a lead. It is only a single game. We have plenty more. Where that came from. At least one more. At least one more. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Ideally, I'm a little bit selfish. I would love an ace match. I'd love to squeeze out as many games as we can out of these lovely players, but it's not up to me. It's up to the players. We'll see if we have a back and forth, or if this is the end of Creator's run. Bearing in mind that this is a double elimination qualifier, a double elimination bracket, so no one is going to be eliminated yet. No one is going home. Not yet, anyone. Everyone's at home, I guess. But, you know, no one is taking a bow here or is bowing out from the tournament yet. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Mystery Gaming. It is RagnaroK. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Brodos representing Team Abydos. It is Creator. Here we go. RagnaroK on brand was very aggressive in game number 1, just took a lead and held on to it and never let it go. It's something that you can accomplish on Dragon scales just because of how small it is, how short the rush distance is, so things like Queen Walks, for example, are very common on Dragon scales, on Babylon as well, for example, Neo-Humanity as well. Because of that, you can, you know, opt to be aggressive and snowball out of control. Meanwhile, on a map like Ancient Cistern, that is not the case. I don't think I've ever seen I think I've seen like a German taxi. Like I've seen a queen drop across the map with some creep, or like Nidus, sure. But straight up just waddling the queens across Ancient Cistern, that is not, it's not advised. It takes far too long. Chances of your opponent scouting it is a lot larger as well. That is not something that we're going to be seeing here, but we don't need to. Again, RagnaroK, he isn't a one-trick pony. Sure, he's known as one of the more aggressive Zerg players in Korea. Don't get me wrong, that is a true fact. But that doesn't mean that he can't play macro. It doesn't mean that he can't play for the mid-game instead and go for something a little bit different. Something like a Roach timing, like an upgrade timing, like the 1-1 Roach or +1 Roach, 66 drone all in off of 3 bases. Very Demaga-esque, something that RagnaroK is more than willing to do. and something that can definitely work here. Meanwhile, oh my god, Creator going for a robo opener. Very interesting. So with this is typically for a disruptor drop. With this, we should be working towards a robotics bay afterwards and into a disruptor. Or we can go a couple of different routes. If we throw down additional gateways, then this could be for something like a Warp Prism to go into vanilla gateway all in. It doesn't sound very Creator though. My money is on the disruptors, especially because we still only have a single gateway, and the robo is about to finish up. Adept is going to be getting across the map, trying to get a read on things. Confirms the lack of additional gas that's mining here for RagnaroK, so he knows it's not, again, it's not going to be a Bane bust, or at least this early on. There's no reason for RagnaroK to mine so much gas, and there it is. There's that robotics bay on the way. Now, the standard thing to do would be to go into disruptors. If we want to be fancy, then the Colossus come out. It's been a while since I've seen a Colossus opener in PvZ specifically. Not too long since we've seen it against Terran. Saw it like maybe a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago against Terran. But here it is. The Prism is on the way. Behind this, we should be working on Warp Prism speed once the bay has finished, and pumping out those disruptors as well. So this opener is a little bit risky. It's very high risk, high reward. As you can imagine, we're going to be heavily reliant on these disruptors to get damage done, to actually connect their Novas and kill some workers, kill some queens. But if RagnaroK is able to react and respond in time, then he's going to be able to shut this down. Meanwhile, that's another early Baneling nest. That's a 4-minute Baneling nest. That is not as early as last time. We can see that RagnaroK is squeezing out a drone, but he has the option to be a little bit more aggressive. For the time being, I think he just wants to be active to figure out what's going on. Here we go. The Adepts are moving on out. It looks like this is a reactive defensive Baneling nest. He's bringing the Spore forward. He knows it was a 2-base opener. He thinks it's going to be Glaive Adepts. We are showing Adepts right now, but we cancel the warp in, and we are hiding those disruptors. So Creator is selling a story. He's forcing RagnaroK to cut workers early. He's only at 39 drones. Typically against disruptor openers, you want to make more. You want to make more workers because, I mean, there's no real purpose to have too much Lings here. There's no third base. Your Lings, sure, they can keep up with the disruptors, but there's not really much else for them to do. As the disruptors are zooming across the map, Warp Prism speed has been revealed. Lings are going for a bus. Trying to, we can maybe try to bust into the natural, but we have a shield battery already. RagnaroK, he wants to make use of the Lings that he was forced to make, but so far he's just not finding too much. Meanwhile, the queens are split. The disruptors have been revealed. One queen does go down. And here we go. RagnaroK, he's going to be committing to this push. But we have a shield battery. We have a stalker as well. Sentries are on the way. Creator, he's ready for the counterattack. Yeah, this finds no damage. Colossus comes out as well. We are perfectly fine back at home. And now RagnaroK is in a really rough position. He's been bamboozled. Again, he thought it was Glaives. He assumed it was Glaive Adepts. That's why we have so much Lings. That's why we have so many Banelings. And this is just dead supply. These could have all been drones. They could have, well, like, half of them could have been drones. And RagnaroK would be in a much better position. We can see, oh, he's going to try to surround this army, though. He's diving on in, but Creator, he is on point. He does pull back in time. Novas go off as well. The Baileys are all getting shut down. Oh. And Creator, he's found himself in a really nice lead. He's able to take his third base. He's ahead in workers. He's ahead in tech. Disruptors pop out. Yeah, they're going to be able to get a little bit more value as well. 2 more roaches do fall. Speaking of, more roaches are in production. What are we planning here? It looks like RagnaroK is still teching, and he's still going to be droning as well. We should be seeing another hatchery on the way. So it looks like RagnaroK, he is going to try to get into a bit of a longer game. He does have quite a large force, so he's anticipating a counterattack. As Creator moves out, the Lings move in. We're going to get a bit of a surround on one of these stalkers. We go straight for the Nexus as well. Can we get the base? We force the overcharge. Lings back off, but again, we are buying time. We're accomplishing something with the Lings that we had to make earlier. As Creator is pushing on forward. We've got a couple of Ravagers waiting for him. We've got the Lings ready to surround this army as well. Oh, and it looks like we are getting on top of this. Novas are going to be going up, and they do connect, but only with a single Ravager. Another Ravager goes down, but it looks like the entire army of Creator is being forced back. Can we get the Disruptors? We get one! One Disruptor goes down. And this was an ill-advised push. This was, I want to say, an unnecessary push at a Creator. Very risky. He was hoping, I'm sure, that RagnaroK was just droning, so I'm sure there was obviously a reason for the push. But as we can see, just didn't really accomplish much at all. Especially after losing that Disruptor. He's lost quite a lot of momentum. He's gonna go for some Colossus drop harass because, I mean, we gotta do something, right? And we're gonna be shaving off a couple of Lings here and there, a couple of drones here and there. Dark Shrine is on the way, +2. We got Immortal Production. We're able to squeeze out another Disruptor as well. Meanwhile, RagnaroK is going to be staying on a low drone count. He's on 3 base saturation. 67. 66 to 70 drones is basically 3 base saturation, and this is a very common style on Ancient Cistern where you have a really low economy and you just focus on pure Lingbane Roach Ravager. The goal of this army is, of course, to trade, is to fight, is to engage on creep, and is to deny bases. So it's a very active style, and you need to be active. Oh! Another Nova goes off, taking down a Ravager. As you can imagine, as the game goes on, this army doesn't scale well into the late game. If Creator is allowed to max out, then RagnaroK will be in a really difficult position. But that's why he knows that himself. That's why he's looking to be very active. We have a massive amount of Banelings being warped in. RagnaroK looking for the army positioning. Stalkers have been revealed. And RagnaroK is setting up a surround. He's coming in from behind. Does force a massive blink. There are Colossus waiting on top of this ramp, so yeah, RagnaroK, he's going to have a hard time breaking these entrenched positions. Not impossible, just difficult. He's flirting with the idea of committing. Banelings, as he distracts the main army, Banelings are rolling into that third base. We do react in time, but probes still go down. 4 workers do fall. At the same time, the main army is trying to engage. The Banelings are getting on in. And they get some connections here with the Colossi. The Disruptors, can the shots go off? It looks like they cannot. Not a single Nova does connect. The Roaches push on forward. The Ravagers force the blink as well. It looks like Creator's going to be holding on, but he lost a lot of his economy. He lost a lot of his army. That 1DT putting in a lot of work. There's no detection with the main army of RagnaroK. Creator is pushing him back, but he lost so much in the defense. Banelings go off as well. And with these reinforcements, RagnaroK should be able to hold on. He's got everyone's speed on the way. We should be seeing some Overseers as well, just in case, as there are DTs. Speaking of, I believe DT was morphed in. Just for some Archons back at home. Once again, RagnaroK is looking for the surround. He wants to try to catch these Stalkers. He does force a blink, and the Roaches are waiting for him. Does force a recall. And RagnaroK, he's doing it. He is breaking his opponent. Another Nova goes off and up. Will connect. Massive connection on the Roach Ravager army. But despite that, we have pure Stalkers to defend. The concave is looking very good. Creator holds on. RagnaroK has to be careful not to overextend. He has to be careful not to throw away his lead. No shield batteries, but there we go. Creator has recognized his weakness here, his vulnerability at his 4th base. He'll be throwing that down. And RagnaroK is going to back off. Meanwhile, the Disruptor cannon is being rebuilt as we speak. That advantage that the advantage that RagnaroK once had is slowly slipping away. Remember, he's still only on 3 base economy. He's still on a very low worker count. The pressure is on RagnaroK to end the game. He still has the lead. He still has the advantage. But if one fight doesn't go his way, then Creator, he's going to be able to stabilize. This does feel like it's on a knife's edge. Creator once again does move out, does expose his Stalkers for a moment. RagnaroK is thinking about trying to punish this. And he's in the midst of maxing out. He's going to be revealing his army. He's going to chase away these Stalkers for the time being. As he tries to buy down that Observer. Props to Creator for, of course, taking notice of that. Does react in time. Banelings are rolling on in. Do we have any force fields? Do we have any storms? The answer is no. Oh, and the Banelings are going to get into the mineral line. Workers are going to fall. Likewise, the Archons are exposed. The Immortals as well. We are getting on top of everything. The Stalkers are standing strong. The Disruptors have arrived, but they are late to the party. It looks like the base will go down now. What's scary is that RagnaroK did lose a lot of supply. Can he get the Disruptor? Oof. Oh, that was so close. But RagnaroK is going to be losing everything, and now he's forcing an all-in. He's forcing a big counterattack out of Creator. And RagnaroK has to take this slow. He cannot bleed out any more units. He's trying to consolidate his army. We've got more Roaches on the way, but without Ravagers, Creator, he can pull this off. Yeah, he has a large enough army. It looks like RagnaroK, he committed too hard to that attack. He lost too much. And now we have a massive Protoss army in his face. Novas are going to be going off as well. Take down the Queens. They take down the Lings. This is the final stand for RagnaroK. And alas, he doesn't have enough. Creator able to fight back, able to put a point on the board. The army has been broken. It has fallen. GG gets called. And Creator ties up the series 1-1. GG. That is the dangerous thing about being on a low worker count. As you saw, a lot of the army of RagnaroK was invested in killing the mineral line and killing the base. And he got them. He got the mineral line and he got the base. He didn't get the army. And because RagnaroK had a low worker count to begin with, it's not as important for him to cripple the economy of Creator. Because he's kind of like, in a way, he's equalizing the economy between the players. And Creator, you know, he may have traded out some of his eco, but he was able to build up his army instead, force a counterattack, and RagnaroK, he just didn't have enough to hold on, didn't have enough to stop that tide. And GG. GG, well played. We have an ace match. Did feel like RagnaroK was going for a lot of the right steps. He was doing a great job at, again, hindering Creator and keeping him back home. But that one fight towards the end on Creator's side of the map, again, RagnaroK, he just traded out far too much of his Roach Ravager Lingbane. He just lost too much of his army. And one bad fight is sometimes all it takes. And here we go. We are diving into game number 3. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of the altitude, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Mystery Gaming. It is RagnaroK. And they may, I think they're asking about the map. Oh.
Game paused.
It may be the wrong map, question mark? I don't. Or maybe something came up as well. Maybe. So hopefully everything is okay. Hopefully all is good. If anyone does read Hangul, does read Korean, then translations would be appreciated. Oh, I understand TT. I do think he's like, did I know veto altitude? He's like, no. Hold on. Do I have Google Translate on my phone? Can I crack the code? Okay, they're talking about their internet. As we are diving back into this, just saying that there was maybe a little bit of latency. Let's go. Shout out to Into the Inu. Thank you for letting us know, and yeah, we are getting into the ace match. Did I introduce the players? I did. Okay. Let's go. Ooh. And yeah, now we're getting into the ace match. We're getting into game number 3. How will this all unfold? It does feel like RagnaroK has done a good job at having momentum and creating damage, creating opportunities for himself. But sometimes maybe he's a little bit overzealous, sometimes he's a little bit overeager. That has turned around to bite him, at least in that last game. Now we're on the largest map in the map pool, and I feel like this is the map that Creator thrives in the most. We've seen Creator just turtle up on 4 bases, just max out on Mass Immortal, Disruptor, Archon, before moving out across the map. We've seen him transition into Skytoss. If given the opportunity, he is more than willing to whip out the second Stargate, to whip out the Fleet Beacon, and go into carrier production as well. So my eyes are mainly on RagnaroK to see what kind of aggression he goes for. Game 1, he went for a Ling Bane bust. In game number 2, he went for 3 base saturation, 66 drones, mass Ling Bane Roach Ravager, a very mid-game oriented, committed style. I almost want to say an all-in style. At least committed is what I'll commit to. We'll see. We'll see what he goes for here on altitude. I do think that Ling Bane Roach Ravager more all-in composition is not ideal on altitude, just because of how many bases you can take and how much easier it is to defend as well. But we'll see. We shall see. As Creator mixes things up once again. Game 1, he went for a Stargate opener. Game 2 was a Robo opener. Game 3, it is a Twilight Council opener. Okay, here we go. So with this opener, we can go for a couple of different routes. If we don't pull out a gas, this could be for a Dark Shrine opener, and that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. If we do pull out, it could be for a Glaive Adepts, and there we go, we do pull out. Should be for those Glaives. How many gates are we going to see is the question. It should be around 4 gateways. Again, if we did stay in gas, then we could throw down additional gates, like a 5th, 6th, even a 7th, and even an 8th gateway as well. We have seen that in the past. It's been a while. Been a while since I've seen an 8 gate all in, but has happened before. And this is designed to try to get ahead economically, do a good amount of damage here to RagnaroK, pick off drones, not to end the game, but do damage nonetheless. Meanwhile, RagnaroK going for a very, what was that, a 3-minute 30 Roach Warren. My god. Just now he's going to be scouting, checking for a third base, checking for what is coming out from his opponents. But yeah, RagnaroK, he wants to be aggressive himself. And I think this is going to work out well for him. He's going to be cutting workers early on. He's going to be having roaches very early as well. And that's exactly what you want against these Glaive Adepts. Ay. Stalker has been revealed. The lack of Oracle does tell RagnaroK that his Twilight Council opener roaches are already in production. Prism moves out. Adepts are revealed. To be fair, what we're seeing right now is the exact same thing we saw last game. So technically this could still be a Disruptor opener. Technically this could still be Disruptors, just like game 2. So RagnaroK is still on notice. He's still trying to piece together what he's up against, as we do get a bit of a pause. Ooh. And we do have a little bit of latency. I say that, it looks like yeah, Creator is just experiencing a bit of a lag spike, which is really unfortunate. I'm translating. Ooh, yeah. So it looks like Creator is saying that his internet is like really unstable right now, and it keeps stuttering. Well, the game keeps stuttering. God, sorry. Okay. But yeah, it is a shame, and I'm sure we're more than willing to accommodate. You know, maybe we can give Creator some time to restart his router or something. But okay, never mind. We're jumping in. We are jumping on in, and here we go. We are executing this 4-gate blink. Sorry, Glaive Adepts. Adepts have been revealed, but the Roaches and Ravagers are already arriving. Lings on the way as well. The goal here for RagnaroK is to try to get a surround on these Adepts and then file down those power down those adepts as best he can. Prism, oh no! Ooh, Prism is going to get shot down as well by those Biles. And that may just be the end of it here. I mean, oh god, Creator's going to get cleaned up. He cannot reinforce. We are droning as we speak because we can afford to drone. And now, Creator's in a lot of trouble. RagnaroK has the map control. He's going to try and shut this down. He's going to chase us down across the map. Waiting for his Ravagers to appear. Third base is on the way. Ugh. But the base is going to get targeted down. Is going to be denied. Creator's contained to only 2 mining bases behind this. In a desperate move, he's going for a Dark Shrine. He's going for Charge as well. He's going for a follow-up Charge Lot Archon composition, which can work out well. Creator did rebuild. He did remake that Prism. Moving out across the map once again. He's not done. It's not over. Not yet. Creator, he wants to make a game of this. He wants to, but whether he will or not, we'll see. As the Adepts don't commit to the Shade, we're going to be heading towards the third base location instead. A Queen is going to get picked off. Drones are going to be falling as well. Creator is finding some damage. At the same time, the Prism dives into the main. Do we? Wow, we do! No! No! The Prism goes down once again. For a second time. And it is such a shame that Creator is experiencing some latency issues, that doesn't have the most stable internet right now. That could be coming into play as well with his execution of this. He does get 9 drones, which is good. Does have a third base on the way. Creator once again is forced to back off, but he is getting his third up and running. We have a shield battery in production. We have DTs. We have Archons. As the Overseer dips into the main base, and it looks like we're getting eyes on the tech. We get eyes on the Dark Shrine, the Forge. They're researching the lack of additional gateways as well, and it looks like RagnaroK has also spotted that third base. He's aware his opponent is transitioning. He doesn't care, he's moving out across the map. We commit to the Shade. Lings are waiting for the Adepts back at home. Adepts will be cleaned up. RagnaroK wants to try to punish this third. He'll be coming at this from a different angle. If he wants to, he can go for the natural instead. Oh, we have 2 Immortals waiting for him, though. He's going to be thinking better of it. Dives on top of the Archons. Biles will be connecting with the Shield Battery. Shield Battery goes down instantly. Overcharge does get wasted. With these Lings trickling on in, we should be able to get on top of that, on top of those Immortals. Boys are being pulled, and it looks like a Creator is barely going to clean this up. Ah, it's going to be close. Can we get the Immortals? That's going to be disastrous if the Immortals go down. Roach Ravager kiting back. Another Immortal does fall. We only have 1 left. This is not looking good for Creator. This counterattack did so much. It cleaned up the mineral line. Killed 2 Immortals, the Archons as well. But Creator, mate, he has been pumping out probes. My god. He lost 15 probes and he is still even in the worker count. Goes to show how much Creator was cutting workers as he goes for his own 4th basin. As the dust does settle, where are we right now? Creator, I would say that his economy is currently better than that of RagnaroK. His army is very high quality as well. We already have a 3rd Immortal on the way. We have access to Archons. We have +2 attack. Honestly, Creator isn't in the worst position. I'll be honest. Thankfully, we do have a lair, and we do have roach speed at least, so RagnaroK isn't too far behind. But overall, like, Creator, he's not too uncomfortable. He's lacking in a gateway army, but his opponent isn't really pushing in, so Creator, he can afford to cut or skip out on some of those army units. Oh, he wants to. He wants to sell it. Wanted fourth base still in production. RagnaroK still on a very low working count, but there we go. Wave of 7 drones are in production. And I'm sure RagnaroK is pretty satisfied with what he has been seeing. He's been seeing the Bailey nest, he sees it researching, so he knows about the Ling Bane Road Ravager. I'm sure he's going to be working on some splash damage momentarily, whether it's Storm or Colossi or Disruptors. You can definitely go for one of them, but actually no. He's setting up to expand, take the fourth base. He has a Prism on the way. He does have an amount of Archons. He's got 2 more Archons in production, and the Archons will help against the Ling Bane. Alone, they're not amazing, but, you know, they have their place. We can see Creator flirting with the idea of pushing out. +2 kicks in, +3 immediately starts for Creator. So again, he just threatens his opponent. Doesn't commit. Meanwhile, RagnaroK has been able to join up to 73. Not a bad worker count once again. As he does knock down those rocks, he's looking to expand, take the goal base towards his opponent. And Creator is going to take the role of the defender. Can he hold on? We have 2 shield batteries and a cannon with this army. We've got a lot of Archons, a lot of Immortals. Breaking this position is going to be difficult. The base on the right-hand side, not so much. And I feel like RagnaroK now sees that.
Your forces that field's been mined out.
God.
Hope you have an expansion.
Diva. Shaking my head. Shaking my head. But regardless, here we go. Meanwhile, a massive contamination on a Robo. Not too bad, just to slow down the Immortal production. RagnaroK about to max out as we speak. 2-1 is about to kick in. Hive on the way as well for those Vipers. And Creator is doing a great job at just keeping tabs on his opponents. The Archon and Immortal drop in conjunction. We're forcing the Lynx to stay at home. We're keeping an eye on the army. We're making sure that our bases are safe and sound. SimCity is on the way. We have a wall. Pretty solid wall on the way. And I'm getting concerned now for RagnaroK. RagnaroK, he's maxed out, don't get me wrong. Not on the best army though, but oh, this is ideal for him. We have Creator pushing out. RagnaroK is going to be looking for a fight. It's going to be looking to surround the army if possible. Oh, but that's a kill on the goal base. RagnaroK, he's trying to goad his opponent onto creep. I did just realize that we actually don't really have a lot of creep. It has been denied due to the Archon drop earlier. God, that's a lot of Archons. That's 12 Archons. So I think he can push through against all these Bailings. My God. Here we go, Creator. He is pushing on forward onto creep, forcing the engage out of RagnaroK. We have a couple of force fields throwing down the Bailings. They do find their connections with the Archons more than anything. And all the Bailings go down. A beautiful split, a beautiful trade from Creator. 70 Bailings for 7 Archons. And we still have more where that came from. We still have another 7 out on the field. As Creator is pushing his way through, mass Archon Immortal, powering through everything in his sight. The Lings are doing what they can. We have a massive warp in into the face of RagnaroK, and it looks like Creator has done it. It looks like he has broken through. GG gets called. And Creator takes game number 3 and the series 2-1. GG. GG. Very well played. Again, that's what I was really concerned about when it came to Creator and sorry, when it came to RagnaroK and his playstyle. He was maxed out on a very subpar army. What do you need against Mass Immortal and Mass Archon? Vipers, Lurkers. It's mainly it, like a wall of Lurkers and of course Vipers to help out with Blinding Clouds to support with their spells are what we are looking for, and that is not what we had. RagnaroK caught out with a mass Baneling army. We saw how efficiently the Archons traded with the Banelings. GG, well played. Creator advances on, RagnaroK gets knocked down to the lower bracket.